All right, folks, welcome to part 4 of the toy car building endeavor. And today we're going to build a wheel. You'll build something similar to this. Yours will be maybe a little different kind of patterns, but this is the basic idea. So in order to do this, we're going to have a sketch that we build and rotate that around an axis. So we're about to do that. So let's start by going to your toy car project. You should show two things. You should show your car body and your toy car body that you made for 3D printing. I have some things that I've already been messing around with that you probably won't have. Make sure we're in there though. We can close down the waffle now, and let's start by doing two things. One is we're going to go to our document settings, and we're going to do millimeters this time. So instead of inches, click on that little icon that pops up and change this to millimeters. Okay. And now we're drawing in millimeters, which is what we want. And let's go ahead and save before we even get started and call it wheel. I'm going to be doing a tire also later. But not right now. Okay, you really have to pay attention to what we're doing because the specs have to be right on this. So we're going to create a sketch on the right side view this time, not the front. Okay, we're going to click on there, and we're going to create a line that's hooked up to the origin point. It doesn't even really matter how long it is, but let's just make it 5 millimeters just so we kind of have a perspective of what we're talking about. Going to zoom in. Okay, I think I'll take that and kind of rotate it down here. And we're going to take this line and right click on it and make it a construction line because it's actually just going to be used as an axis. All right, now here we go. Please again pay attention to what we're doing because we're going to have to make this exactly right. So we're going to do a corner to corner rectangle, create rectangle, 2 point. And we're going to start by hovering over the center and then coming. I haven't clicked yet. Okay. Just to line up. And we're going to click one end. Okay. And click the other. Remember, tab gets you back and forth. If you mess up, start again, undo. Okay. And I'm going to tab until I see the length of that thing. I'm going to make that length 4 millimeters long. And then tab over to the other one. And we're going to make that 0.5 thick. So I have a 4 by 0.5 millimeter rectangle. Again, you could use the dimension tab to dimension things if you want. Now, right now, this is all blue. We're going to make it turn black, which means that it's locked into place. So first thing is we're going to make a horizontal constraint from this point to the origin. So I clicked horizontal or vertical constraint, picked this point, picked that point. Now you should see these two outside lines turn black, which means that you can no longer move it side to side. Now we need to lock it up and down. So either D for dimension or click the dimension tab, and we're going to go from this point to that point, pull your mouse away, and that dimension is going to be 0.25 millimeters. I know this is really small, but the toy car is really small. All right, so we should have something that looks just like this. Okay, we've got nothing is blue, it's all black, and it's these dimensions with a vertical constraint holding these two places together. All right, now we're going to make another 2-point rectangle. We're going to kind of just draw it up in space. So come up above this line quite a ways. Click one corner, and before you click the other corner, we're going to tab back and forth, and we're going to make the width of this to be 0.5. Tab over to the other one, and we're going to make the height 0.75 and hit enter. Now this is blue because it's floating around in space. I can move it around, right? But we're going to lock the center point of this to this corner. But first I need to make a point. So you're going to hit create point. And that point is going to get put right into the middle of this triangle. See how the little triangle shows up to show I'm locked to the middle? Click, okay. Hit escape to get out of the command. That little point should be black and not blue. And now we're going to lock this point and that point together with what's called a coincident constraint. So under your constraints is coincident. It has, make sure that you know you're picking the right one. And we're going to click on this point and then that point. And it's going to take that rectangle and lock it to that point. And everything, again, should be black because it's all locked into one place. Cool. All right, there's our start. Okay, we're going to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to kind of come up here next. And I'm going to make a 5 by 0.5 rectangle. So again, 2-point rectangle just out here in space. Okay, we're going to make a 5 tab 0.5 rectangle. Enter. Okay, now it's blue because I can move it around. All right, we're going to do a couple things. One, we're going to use our horizontal and vertical constraint, and we're going to lock this point vertical to this point. Okay, should have slid over a little bit one way or the other, and now you should see two black lines on the outside instead of blue. And next, we're going to dimension from this axis here to the top of this guy. So dimension, we're going to go from this dotted line to the top point corner of your rectangle. Click on it, move your mouse away. Click again to get the number 4.5. Enter. Okay. Moved it up or down a little bit. Your dimensions might not look exactly like mine, but as long as they're there and you size things correctly, awesome. All right, one more rectangle that's going to go inside of this one. So we're going to make another rectangle just kind of out in space up here. And that rectangle is going to be 4.5 wide, tab, and 0.25 high. So it's going to be a little bit skinnier. Enter. Okay, we're going to do that same thing we just did. Make sure that you got the right size. We're going to create a point. This time we're going to put it in the middle of the top of this rectangle. See the little triangle that pops up? Okay. Again, it turns black. Okay. Now I'm still in the point command, and I'm going to put another point at the top of this rectangle. Click. Okay. And we're going to coincident constraint those 2 points together now. Coincident constraint under your constraints. Click this point and click that point, and it's going to move that other rectangle inside of this. This is what we are now looking at. Okay, make sure that you have it right. Make sure that your dimensions are right. If you have to go rewatch something, then do that. All right, so we've got our basic design and our basic shape for our wheel. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and make 2 revolves here by hitting finish sketch. Okay, tilt things so that you can see what you're doing a little bit, and we're going to create a revolve. Create revolve. Now we're going to choose 3 profiles. We're going to choose this one. Notice I'm selecting profiles right now. This one, that one, and just this. Don't get this other part up in here. We want that kind of U-shaped part. Okay. Now, once we've got those selected, now we're going to select our axis by clicking click axis, and we're going to select that line that we have down there. Now, last time, whoops, I had it partial. You should see, as long as it says full rotation, okay, and we're going to create a new body, it's actually going to end up creating 2, and okay. All right, cool. So not sure why this instruction's still there, but we've got our basic design. Now, obviously, the inside and the outside need to be connected together. So here's how we're going to do that. You're going to turn back on the sketch that you were using before. Actually, I'm sorry, I take that back. We're not going to do that. We're going to create a new sketch. So we're going to create a sketch, and notice your origin planes will show up. We're going to choose this plane that goes right through the middle of the wheel. Click that plane. Okay. Now, in order to see what we're doing, we're going to slice graphics, click slice. Now we're looking inside directly at our plane. Okay. You can click on the view cube to straighten things out. And we need to project a little bit of geometry. So we're going to hit P for project, and we're going to click 4 corners. A little dot should show up. That one, that one, that one, and that one. And you should see 4 little purple dots show up. Okay. Then we can click OK. And then we're going to draw lines between those points to make sure we can get a profile. So we're going to draw a line from that point to that point. Get out of the command, and we're going to draw a line from that point to that point. And again, escape gets you out of the command. All right, cool. Now you have a little bit of your own creativity to do here. You don't have to do this exactly as I do. So usually you can draw curves. You can draw straight lines if you want. We have to draw what's connecting this to this, and that's going to be your own thing. So I personally like arcs. You can create an arc with a 3-point arc, okay? And we're going to connect this point here on the outside of the wheel to somewhere along this line. Don't go all the way and hook it up to the outside point. We're going to be inside the wheel a little bit. Now, you can actually bend the thing inward or you can bend it outward. I have found that it looks better to bend it outward, but you can play around with this later on. And then we're going to do this same thing again. I'm still in the 3-point arc command. Click over here somewhere on the line, and we're going to create a profile. You should have light blue, although some monitors have a hard time seeing that. But we've got an enclosed space. You could have drawn straight lines. As long as you have a profile that connects the top to the bottom, that's what we want. Okay, now we're going to finish sketch. Okay, and you can see it in there. If you tilt a little bit, you can see what you've got going on. And again, you can play around with this and go back to this point if you want to try something different, whatever you like. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to revolve this. I'm going to show you several things and several ways of doing this. So please just watch for a few minutes and I'll tell you when to do it on your own. So there's multiple choices. We can create a revolve of this thing, of this profile. We're going to go around an axis that I choose. I'm not sure why I can't select an axis. Let's try that again. Well, when things don't work, try again. So I don't know what happened. Create revolve. Okay. Oh, the profile was already selected. Now I need to select an axis, which is one of those cylinders. It doesn't really matter which one. Okay. Now, again, you're just watching right now. There's a couple ideas that we can do. One is we can go full, go all the way around it, and then create our own pattern. So here's how to do that. Create an offset plane, construct an offset plane, and we're going to create a plane on this flat surface and then pull that out a little bit. Whoops, I'm not sure why it's not allowing me to pull that. I'm having some computer. Oh, there's the arrow. I just needed to zoom out a little bit. And I'm going to pull that out just to make sure that I'm not hitting anything on the wheel. Okay, just make sure it's sticking out beyond the wheel a little bit. Now, keep watching. We're going to do things like we can create a sketch on this plane, and then you can just draw some sort of pattern. You just have to make sure that this is within this ring and that ring. Okay, then we can finish sketch and extrude and cut that through. So I'm going to go ahead and extrude, take this, cut it through. I usually like to choose cut through all. Okay, again, just watch. Now we can create a pattern, and we'll create a circular pattern. Now this is kind of important. We're not doing bodies because I already only have one body. We're going to do features. What feature do I want to do? Well, it's that last extrusion. And then I can select the axis, which is, again, one of these circles. Okay. And it'll show me a preview. Right now I have 16 of them. I can go down a little bit. to whatever I like, whatever looks good. Okay, click OK, and then it will make that for you. So there's kind of option number one, is you can do something like that. I'm going to undo some things and just go to where we're back at this point right here, finish sketch. Another thing that you can do is you could, when you go to revolve this, we can create a revolve and take our profile, but instead of full, you can go just partial and go maybe like this is 10 degrees, okay? And click OK. And then we make a circular pattern out of that, create pattern, circular pattern. Again, you're just watching. This is make sure it says features. This is the feature that I want to do. Select the axis that I'm going to go around. Okay. And again, you can adjust how many you want to your own thing. Okay. Do something like that. Or you could, let's go back to my circular pattern. Well, I'm going to do a few less this time. But then I can go back to my amount that I revolved and go maybe a little more. Maybe I'll go like 25 degrees. And then I can do that same thing where I sketch something inside of this by, again, creating an offset plane from here. Pull that out a little bit to make sure I'm not hitting anything. Sketch on it. And I can draw whatever I want, like along in one of these guys, and revolve that. Like I could do that, don't judge, and create a circular pattern out of my last feature and go around this same number of times. Whoops, I got to select. Oops, I'm not sure why I did that. See, again, I've been doing this a lot longer than you have, and I still have to undo things or start over again. Feature, select this, select my axis, go around the same number of times. I can't remember how many times I had before, but I can go back to where, whoops. I think it was 8 of them I had before on the spokes. Cool. So you do you for building your wheel and getting it to this point. Next time we will talk about axles and tires for this thing. Good job, folks. Get a picture of that dude, turn it in, and we will see you next time.